The next aim statement is describe the use of hedging versus raising equity capital as it relates to managing the risk. Hedging as a part of corporate strategy, it will continue to grow. So there is no two minds that hedging is as a business is not going to grow. It will grow. Okay, corporates will provide products to customers, but they would themselves control the risks. Think about an importer who imports, let's say, a computer equipment. He would want to hedge the currency exchange risk so that the end user or the end customer is not impacted by the currency volatility. So that is, the corporates will provide products so that they would control the risk. Technical innovations have resulted in reduction in the hedging cost. Okay, now historically if you see, equity capital was used, okay, to protect against uncertainty, okay, because hedging cost was more, okay, expensive. So people, they relied on having a large amount of equity capital rather than hedging in the market. So however, because of the reduction in the hedging cost, the firms have reduced their equity capital and they are going into hedging. Note that equity capital is not not cheap. It is very costly, right? The firms, what they are saying is, okay, what if this equity capital can be invested somewhere else? Okay, so risk like interest rate, exchange rate, commodity prices, these have no net present value, and this should be hedged. So interest rate, exchange rate, etc., companies should ensure that they hedge this type of risk. Okay, however, idiosyncratic risk or the firm specific risk, okay, that is a business risk, those are the risks that the company should take, because these have positive NPV and they should focus on this idiosyncratic risk, and they should make money for their shareholders. Okay, so the idea is that you hedge away the general risk, okay, reduce your equity capital and use the equity capital in taking this idiosyncratic risk, because you can take this. Okay, now during the crisis, what we have see is the cost of hedging increases. So companies should ensure that they incorporate this also. So adjusting for hedges will become expensive during the time of crisis. Okay, now what is the argument given for emerging countries? So note that emerging countries also, okay, emerging and small countries government, they face the same situation like a small company or a non-publicly traded firm. Okay, now the citizen of these small countries should focus on activities which they are efficient in. So because they are small, they cannot do a lot of things. They should focus on what they are good at, what they are efficient at, and keep on doing that, right? So what they are saying is they should hedge what they can't produce internally. So if you are not able to produce, let's say, a capital goods equipment, you should hedge that. Okay, so this will reduce the risk and this will help them to focus on the efficient activities. Okay, so and secondly, they are saying that they should not hold large currency reserve. Okay, because this reserve is, if you are they are holding, it is unproductive. Okay, they also should not diversify into many activities. So they should hedge. So they should hedge the currency risk. Okay, like even let's say as an example, recent survey, they are saying that in India only 20% corporates are hedging their currency risk, 80% are not. Okay, right? Which is what you will find that it is reflected in their cost when there is a fluctuation in the currency happens, right? So what they're saying is they should not hold large currency or diversify into many activities. They should focus on efficient activities along with the hedging. Okay, now the extent to which you can do the hedging, it will depend on the cost to hedge. So depending on how much it costs to hedge, you can make the hedging, right? Then the next aim is they asking us to describe the interaction between speculative behavior and financial innovation. Okay, note that in an efficient market, okay, we know that bets are zero sum game. Okay, so it's a zero sum game. So why do we find that people are playing it? Know that whenever you have a game, you know that over the long run nobody will be winning. So sometimes some will win, sometimes some will win. So in the long run, people will stop playing this kind of game, right? So what they are saying is most speculation is not a zero sum game. Okay, speculators are paid. Note that the market is zero sum game, but there are some category of people who are making money. These speculators are paid by the hedgers. So hedgers pay them. Okay, these hedgers pay them to carry the risk. Okay, and they pay them because they bring the markets in the equilibrium. Without the speculators, the market would not work. Without speculating activity, market would not work. Hedgers know that they are paying speculators for the services they render. Okay, now speculators, they bring demand and supply in the market. Speculators, what they do is they compress the time. So if you are thinking of, let's say, selling a product over here, they compress time for you. They help you to achieve something in 2 days what you will be achieving here, right? So they compress time for prices. They ensure that the market returns to the equilibrium. So if the currently the market is not in equilibrium, they will ensure that the market comes to the equilibrium. They make the market efficient. Okay, now financial innovations, what has happened is it has provided more tools and products to these speculators. Okay, so these tools help to speed up the process and it reduces the money making ability. Because of these tools, what happens is the money making ability of the speculators have reduced. As a result, this has come to the benefit of the hedgers because the hedgers cost has decreased. Okay, right? So what we are saying is speculators are always the first one to be blamed when there are some crisis in the market. So why it may happen? Because of some adjustment in the price. If there is a price has become overvalued, you find that sudden crash happens, and speculators are blamed for that sudden crash, right? So speculators are blamed for the adjustment of the prices because some counterparties may lose in this type of transaction. Some people believe that speculators, they work in a cartel. Okay, note that it is not possible because all the speculators would not work in the same way. There is a competition from another type of speculators who take the opposite position. So it cannot happen that speculators work in a cartel. Okay, during time of stocks, however, what we see is the speculating activities, these are reduced. So you do not see that kind of speculating activities. Okay, speculators, they want to understand the valuation and liquidity before they make a bet. Okay, so that's why they want to stop and think. Okay, so when the market is in shock, they just reduce their speculating activity, they just reduce their trading. They want to think that, okay, where is the market going, what is the valuation, how is the liquidity. As a result, what happens is because there is no speculating activity, you will find that the market prices during the time of shock are erratic. Okay, market is in chaos. Okay, so it will remain in chaos till the speculators, they return to the market. Okay, now risk measures like where. Okay, where we have seen that there is a issue with the sub additivity. Okay, it will work well when there is no aggregation problem and then there is no liquidity shock. Okay, where will not work in the crisis. Okay, because the correlation structure, it will change during the crisis and you cannot rely on where as a measure. Okay, now financial institutions, they reduce leverage in the crisis. So you have seen that from the past few years we are seeing that deleveraging is happening in the market. People are reducing, the companies or corporates are reducing their leverage. Okay, so when they are reducing their leverage, they sell their assets. Okay, when they are selling their asset, they further exacerbate the situation. As a result, what happens is the lower prices are coming. So you are selling, the prices are becoming lower and lower, and when you want to sell your product here, you are able to sell the product over here. So this is nothing but your cost of liquidity which has increased. So during the down market, the cost of liquidity, it increases. Okay, so this was the completion of your first of your challenges in of financial innovation, which is by Myron Scholes. Okay, this was just giving you idea about the innovations in the market and how it is saving the people.